welcome to our first episode where we're going to be talking to the one and only,
The legend herself.
Yep, Jennifer Niven.
I love that introduction, by the way.
I promise. So, if you can't see, we have all your books behind us.
Oh my gosh. Oh, lovely.
So I was really, really lucky to get an advance copy of your latest book, and oh my god, when we watched this, oh my god, I am not okay. There's quite a switch up in the writing, like compared to All the Right Places. That's quite a switch up. Why did you choose that? I love it, but like, why?
Thank you. Well, thank you, first of all, and thank you both for having me here. I'm so excited to be on the first episode. This is like amazing. Um, so I was, I had just finished Take Me With You When You Go with David Levithan, and I was thinking about the next book, and I thought I always like to switch it up a little bit if I can. And one of the things I love to read are mysteries, thrillers, like psychological thrillers, dark academia. And I thought, I'm reading these books all the time for pleasure. Why not try to write one and see if I can? And then I was thinking about, okay, subject matter. Well, when I was in college, I had this professor who was the head of the English department. I was an English major, and she was not very well liked. Let's just put it that way. And she accused me of plagiarism. Now, the interesting thing was the story she accused me of stealing was a really personal story. It was the first time I'd written anything really, truly personal. And I was writing about the impact my parents' divorce had on me and just, coming of age kind of thing. And so I was so hurt and so like terrified. And it ended up going before the dean. They found me not guilty. And she had to apologize to me formally. And she never forgot that. So, and I had to, like work with her throughout the rest of my college like years. So anyway, long story short, I was trying to think of an idea. I was thinking about just randomly thinking about that teacher and that experience. I looked on my shelf, it's probably right there. And I saw a copy of Killing Mr. Griffin by Lois Duncan. And I was like, I think I could write something about a dangerous teacher slash mentor. And that's where the idea came from.
Wow, I love that. Honestly, yeah, I get that vibe in your book. I'm obsessed with it. Like, I know.
She is.
If you couldn't tell, yeah.
That makes me very happy.
I did stay up really late, as I said, to finish the book because I was like, yeah, I have to finish it in like nearly one sitting. And oh my god, you smashed it, honestly.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, that means everything, really, truly.
Perfect. Sorry, just get that down.
Yeah, no, I had the same with All the Bright Places. I was up till like 11. I'm like, I have to finish it tonight. This isn't. Yeah.
I feel like I should apologize for sleepless nights, but
Don't worry.
No, exactly.
as a fellow reader, that just is like I know when I get absorbed, in a book and I don't want to put it down. I'm like one more chapter, just one more chapter, just one more chapter, and it's the best feeling. So I just thank you both for staying up late and
You're
reading.
welcome. We're doing it.
Anytime.
Going on from what you just said, like, have you got any favorite authors? What are your favorite books?
Oh my gosh. I love right now, as I said, I'm really into like mysteries and thrillers. I loved The Secret History by Donna Tartt, which is kind of like that dark academia. So I love The Secret History. I'm all over the place in my interests and the people I read. I love like Catherine Stedman. I love oh my gosh, I love so many. I love I just read The Macabre by Kasoko Jackson and I'm obsessed with it. And there's so many good authors and so many good books. And my husband and I both listen to a lot of audiobooks, and he'll say, "What should I listen to next?" And I'll say, "Oh, you have to listen, you have to listen to this one by Lucy Foley or Ruth Ware." And so he'll listen to it and then we talk about it and we're just like, so excited. So yeah, I just have so many. Alexandra Potter, I love her and her books. Um, yeah, I love E. Lockhart, Kathleen Glasgow.
Oh, that's
I could
really
go on and on.
oh, that's really good. I saw on your Instagram earlier in the week or last week you were listening to the new Taylor Swift album.
Yes.
What do you,
Yes.
what do you think?
It's so interesting because I feel like this one has gotten more backlash than, some of the previous ones. And I think one reason maybe is it's very different. It's kind of very fun and light, and I love that. I mean, I love I think she's getting criticism for the lyrics, but to me, like I love the feel of the music. It's very fun. I love the Ophelia song, and I love Opalite, and I love just I don't know, the vibe of it is very happy, which maybe I appreciate because I'm reading a lot of dark things right
You need that right now.
I was saying the first time I listened to it, you can definitely like almost hear her smiling.
Yes. Yes. I feel like this is Taylor in love, like we're getting a different Taylor than we've had before, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite era?
Oh gosh. You know what? I have such a soft spot for 1989. I
Oh.
I just I don't know. I don't know if that was the album that kind of made me fall in love with her music or, that's why, but I have this like kind of nostalgia, like happy feeling when I listen to that. But I think she's so talented. And I love what she said when she was talking about, they were asking her about the criticism that she's getting right now in the backlash. And she said, something, and I'm going to butcher it because I don't remember exactly how she said it, but she said something about how it belongs to the listener, like at this point, and everyone's going to come to it with different feelings, and that's absolutely the way it should be. And people, I've had a lot of young authors, and writers ask me, like, how do you deal with criticism? And I just like I say something very similar, which is once you've done all you can by a book and you put it out there, it really doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to the readers. And it's kind of wonderful that we all have different views on the same thing. So I like that as a reader and a writer.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Honestly, all your books are flawless.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Oh, thank you. Go on. Like
Come on. I can see behind you. You have, is it Meet the Newmans?
yes, I have this like okay, so this adorable TV guide that my publisher made to go in these promo boxes for Meet the Newmans. So, which is, I think, so cute. Like it's an actual little TV guide thing they've done. And I wrote a lot of articles that kind of appear between chapters in the book. And so some of them are in here. And I just think it's so cool. I just love it. And like the gingham, I think is so cute. So I'm just in love with it.
It comes out January, right?
It does. It comes out, yes, it comes out early January. I can't believe it. It's so strange to have When We Were Monsters out, and it's a very different book from Meet the Newmans, and to be kind of publicizing both of them and talking about both of them at the same time. And I don't know how many times I'm like, so when we were the Newmans or Meet the Monsters, like I get them. I have to pause for a minute before I talk about them because I have to make sure I'm talking about the right book. The other day, I filled out all these questions for an interview, and I was answering it as if it was for Meet the Newmans, and it was actually for When We Were Monsters. So I'm so I looked at it before I sent it out. They would have been like, "What?"
Oh my god, that's insane though. That's great.
It is. It's exciting.
100%. So you can tell us more about the book, or like what's it involved?
With Meet the Newmans, it is so it's the story of America's favorite TV family in 1964, and they've been on the air for 12 years, and they're like the apple pie, black and white, perfect, shiny version of an American family, but behind the scenes, they're a complete and total mess. I always have been fascinated by people's behind the scenes because I know we all have them. And so I wanted to write a story about something that looks very shiny on the outside, but is actually quite messy, like all of us on the inside.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
Come out.
Yeah, I
Definitely gonna grab a copy. Everybody grab a copy.
Please, yes.
know. Yeah, of course.
I think obviously we need to talk about All the Bright Places.
Yeah.
Mm, my heart.
I know
Oh,
it's a very sentimental book to you.
It is.
I think honestly, the fact that you've had the courage also to put this book out is like amazing and like really kind to other
Yeah.
people that have like gone through the same thing and just identify with that. So thank you from everybody.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That means, I mean, truly means everything because it's it's probably the most personal story I've written. And I remember when I went to film school at the American Film Institute, got my degree in screenwriting, and I just will never forget the criticism from my fellow screenwriters in my class who were saying, I don't think you can, like, you'll be able to write something that's really deep and sensitive and personal. And I was so offended by that. But it was, I mean, to be fair, they were writing these like angsty, like stories about things they'd been through. And I wrote a story, I wrote a screenplay about a small Midwestern town that thinks Disney's coming to build a theme park there. I mean, I loved it. It was happy and shiny. But I kept that in mind when I was writing All the Bright Places. And I wrote it about a boy I loved and lost to suicide. So Finch was real. And it was really scary to write that book. And for a long time while I was writing it, I didn't tell anyone that it existed, just in case I never wanted to put it out there. But I'm really glad I did.
Why did you finally decide that?
For a couple of reasons. One, my first agent, literary agent I had for my first several books, because I started in nonfiction and then so there were 7 books before All the Bright Places came along. And he was wonderful. And the last time I saw him in person, he said, Kid, I want you to write the thing that you're most terrified of writing. And do it anyway because you need to. And I was like, I had chills. And then a month later, he died very unexpectedly, very suddenly. And he was the agency. So I had to find a new agent. And as I was talking to new agents, I was thinking about what I wanted to write next. And I kept thinking about his words. So that's why I sat down and wrote it. And the reason I put it out there was one, to honor him, but also to honor this boy I loved, who was one of the most alive people I have ever known and struggled every day to be here. And I just felt like maybe other people out there who were also struggling to be here might find some hope in it.
We love that. Thank you
Yeah.
for that.
You're so
Honestly.
amazing.
You
for
are
that.
amazing.
Oh my God, you're amazing.
Thank you. Oh my god. So, how much involvement with the film did you have?
So I co-wrote the script with a wonderful screenwriter named Liz Hanna. And I was so excited to be involved with it because so many times I think when an adaptation is made of a book, the authors are kind of shoved aside. And so the fact that I got to be involved not only with the script, but with the casting and the locations and to be on set was just, it was amazing. And I think the only thing they had to kind of rein me in on was I wanted to put every scene in the book in the movie. And of course, there's not as much like real estate in the films as, I mean, in films as there are in books. So I had to be reined in by the director who said, Jennifer, if we do this, it will be like an 8-part, series or a 3-part movie. And I was like, fine with me. I don't mind. And he was like, no, we can't do that. So sadly, some of the, as they say in writing, like you have to kill your darlings, and so many of my favorite like scenes from the book weren't able to be in the movie, but I understood why. It was a little difficult at first, but then I loved the movie, so I was very happy with it.
Yeah. was gonna say here, it's a movie that you know when you like see a book, like read a book, and the movie isn't as good. No, the movie was
Yeah.
just as great as the book.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. That means so much because it was also very personal making the movie, and but in some ways the movie felt very different, from like a very different experience, I guess, because when I was writing All the Right Places, the book, I was alone at my desk and it was just me and the book and the memory of this boy that I loved. But with the movie, there are suddenly all these people, and like every little step on the set, I was like, "Ah, there's Finch's trailer and it says Finch on it, or oh my gosh, there are all these people here and they're here because I wrote the story." And it was just that whole experience was so exhilarating and amazing.
Yeah. What was like one of your must keeps from the book that you were like, this has to be in the movie? I don't care, like no matter what.
Oh God, the scene I really, really like wanted in the movie was when Finch goes to get flowers for Violet and brings her spring. And I just wanted that I mean, I wrote it into the script. I wanted it on film. I wanted to watch it on film. Um, but because of, this is the thing that I didn't realize, I think a lot of people don't realize when things are like translated to film, there's also, it's not just the time, but budget constraints. So it turned out, because of location timing and budget, we just couldn't do that particular scene, which I was just gutted over. But there's so many scenes in the movie that I just love. And I think in particular, I just love Justice Smith, who just really got Finch, and he was just so lovely to work with, as was Elle Fanning. And just seeing them together, any scene where they were together made me really happy.
Yeah.
It truly was the perfect cast, honestly.
Thank you. You guys are making me feel so good.
Yeah.
We did our job.
I'm just like, oh,
And then obviously you've also got Breathless, which
yes.
is
It's there.
is
It is
there.
there.
Ah, there it is. Yay.
Um, so why did you decide to write that book?
That book, it's interesting too because it's Banned Books Week. Um,
Oh yes.
and Breathless is the number two banned book in the United States for 2024-2025.
Congratulations.
Yeah, which I kind of take as a badge of honor because the fact that it has, let's just say, moved people that much means a lot to me. And I decided to write it because when I was thinking of the book to come after Holding Up the Universe, which came after All the Bright Places, I wanted to write something kind of personal, like I did with All the Bright Places. And so I was thinking about my parents' divorce, which, as I said, I wrote about in college. So I wanted to kind of revisit that. And then also just write about this beautiful island that is right off the coast of where I live right now in Georgia. And it's where I met my husband. And so some of the adventures in the book are adventures that he and I had. And I wanted to put those in. It's kind of like putting in the wanders that, Finch and Violet had. Um, but in a story that ultimately felt just a little happier, not quite as sad at the end, and just kind of, I don't know, pay tribute to this man I love in this world I love. So it was a nice combination of like the pain of what happened with my parents and then the loveliness of what happened when I met my husband.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah.
Thank
Another one of
you.
my favorite books.
And it's banned. So,
That's great for you because that's just more publicity.
exactly, exactly. As long as, people, someone once said, as long as people, spell your name right and put it out there, that's great publicity. Either way, whatever they're saying.
Exactly. Oh my god, we love that.
If you were to take the characters outside of All the Bright Places and you had to give them one song, like to describe them, what songs would you give them?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Um, there was I well, I always write to music, so I always have playlists of my books, and sometimes I give my characters playlists because that really helps, especially if you're writing, as in All the Right Places, Holding Up the Universe, and in When We Were Monsters, they're dual narrators, and so if you have dual narrators, sometimes to really keep the voice, their emotional voice in your head, you have to like that's a nice way to switch between them and kind of you know, get yourself in their mindset and in their emotions. So I was always listening to music while I was writing, and I love Sleeping at Last. And there are two of his songs that really made me think of Violet and Finch. And for Finch, it was Pluto, and I think for Violet, it was Saturn. But those songs, like the lyrics were just haunting because they felt like they were written for the characters. So, and I think I have them on my playlist, which I have on my like Instagram.
Oh wow, that makes a lot of sense. Like the Saturn and the Pluto as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Oh my god, wow. So stepping aside from that,
Yes.
another very serious question.
Mm.
What is your favourite autumn drink?
Favorite autumn drink? I love this question. I love questions like this. First of all, I love this time of year. So I've got like all around my office, I've got like different candles that smell like warm cider or, cinnamon or just I love it. Especially because we live in Georgia where it's 80 degrees outside, Fahrenheit, which I have no idea what that is Celsius, but it's hot.
We're gonna have to.
It's hot here. But my favorite autumn drink is it probably is like hot cider, like an apple cider with mullein spices. I'm not really like a coffee drinker, but I love the smell of it. So every time my husband makes coffee, I'm just like, it smells so good. Or, pumpkin spice lattes. I do like to taste them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say the hot cider.
Nice.
Oh.
That's different. It's not like the same ale. Pumpkin spice lattes, which yes, I am a victim of. I have a
Yeah,
lot of them, okay?
definitely.
Yeah.
When you're writing, you say you listen to music, obviously, but
Mhm.
like, do you have to be in this certain area? Do you have to have something around you? Like, do you have to be in this certain atmosphere to be writing?
I I feel like in some ways I'm always writing. So I will be with my husband or our kids or the cats or doing something that has nothing to do with writing. And all of a sudden it's like I kind of like, oh, and they're like, oh God, she's writing again. And you're always thinking about the writing if you're in the middle of a project, and which is a great feeling. But in terms of my writing, like where I most like to write, it's right here at my desk. And I have a giant monitor for my desktop, which is great because I love to be able to just have everything because I often have research open and also obviously whatever document I'm working on. I also work a lot in Scrivener, which is a great application for writers, created by writers. So I'll have like my Scrivener note cards or storyboard open, and I just love having all that space. It's also a great place for the cats. We have kitties, and they love to come in. So I love having like a cat on my desk, um, the big monitor, maybe some apple cider. I don't know.
Why
And right. And just right there. But I mean, sometimes I'll write on my laptop or I have a free write that I'll write on sometimes. But my favorite is at my desk.
not? How many cats do you have?
Okay, this is a question that my husband hates for me to answer publicly.
Oh god.
So, see, we basically have 10. I know. But some of them are they go in and out because all of our cats that we meant to have are inside only. But since we have been in this charming small town, all of the cats have found me, and we have been adopted by, let's see, Kevin, Rue, June, Mr. Green Jeans, and Harriet,
Oh,
and her baby that she had under the house, Ollie. So we have a couple, like Sue only lives outside because he absolutely freaks out if he comes inside. Mr. Green Jeans comes in and out as he pleases because he's entitled. Um, yeah, so it's a house full, but remarkably they all get along pretty well. And ha- thankfully we our house is kind of a big rambling old house, and they have lots of space to get away from each other if they need to.
oh my god. So, how many cats do you have that are indoor cats? Just yours?
Um, 8. Yes, 8. Yep. Uh, yeah, and we were actually, I was with a friend of ours. We were doing kind of and we still are, but like trapping, rescuing, taking them in to get their vaccinations, get them neutered, so they stop having all these babies that then I want to adopt. And then we've placed the 19 of them so far. We've placed in homes and gotten them like great homes, and it's just been amazing. But it's also dangerous because my husband knows my heart, like I just want to keep them all. And we have kept a couple of them. So he's like, I don't know that we can do this anymore. At least not bring any of them inside because they won't leave. So, but he has his heart is as big as mine. So,
Oh my god.
yeah. When I'm not writing, I'm trying to rescue the entire cat population of St. Mary's, Georgia.
Another question what we want to ask you is, do you have a reading goal for this year?
Oh, yes. I try to start every year with a reading goal, and so it's a little tricky to add everything up because I have my Kindle and I have audiobooks and listen to a lot of audiobooks, especially because they kind of save my eyes at the end of a day if I've been looking at a screen. I try to read a physical book and then I'm like, oh, I can't do it. But my favorite is like a physical copy of the book. That's my favorite thing to read if I can. So I've got the physical copies of books that I've read. I have things on my Kindle, and then I've got audiobooks. Um, but my goal this year was to read. I was like, okay, last year I can't remember what my goal was, but I didn't meet it, and I was very sad. But this year I said, let's just give you something very reasonable. And I think I gave myself like 30 books or something, and I'm way past that. I'm like at
Oh, epic.
60 something, which I'm like, okay, that's pretty good because
That's
I've written a couple too. So I feel good about
you've had
that.
time to do both, which is pretty impressive.
Right.
Oh my god, yeah.
So,
Wow. How many have you read, sorry?
I've read 45, but I took like a 2 month gap to do all my exams because I was like, I need to focus.
Yes, that's impressive.
Pains me.
And how many have you read?
90.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh.
Because it's like when I'm not like studying, I'm at home listening to music or I'm reading, and there's like that's it. That's
Yeah.
my life.
Do you have favorite places to read? Do you have like your favorite reading corner or chair or couch or
My bed.
something?
My literal bed
My
was
bed
right here.
my bed.
Yes.
What about you?
Same. I'm suddenly really into like reading spots. So I have this kind of oversized chair that's kind of like a couch in my office, and I love reading there. But then I've also got a little reading porch that kind of connects to my office, and there's a nice kind of oversized chair there. Then I'm like, oh, where else could we put like a reading space? Let's see. So we have one in our bedroom, but the cats are always on it, so I can never get there. So I'm like, that's fine. Um, yeah. So all over the place, but probably like on the reading porch is my favorite because then the sun is coming out and one of the cats always joins me there. So I like reading there.
That's so sweet.
So, out of all the books you read this year, what would you say was the most memorable? Not even like your favorite, but the one that you just like, oh, that one.
It's the one that doesn't let go.
Yeah.
I really loved The Wedding People. Um, and I really loved The Macabre by Kasoka Jackson. I'm trying to think. I just read We Live Here Now. I think that's what it's called by Sarah Pinborough. And
Oh my god, yes, I love her.
she's so good. And it's it's kind of stayed with me. That, oh, and also Burnham Wood. Like that stayed with me too. And I wasn't sure at first, like I couldn't quite get into it. And it took a while. I think I even Googled like, is anything going to happen in this book? But then it haunted me and it has stayed with me for a very long time. But what about you? I want to hear about like what books have stayed with you. And you do not have to say when we were monsters, although you
Oh,
I appreciate that. But I really want to know as readers, like what's really stayed with you out of all these books that both of you have read.
well, I'm not just saying this because you're here, but honestly, All the Bright Places.
Yeah.
I think I read it about 5 years ago, and that's it. And also, but for this year, I think, do you know Chloe Walsh?
Yes.
Yeah, so she had Releasing 10 that came out. Oh my god.
I've I've heard good things about it and I have not read it yet.
Please,
Is
please,
it-
the whole series. Please.
Oh, good. Okay, I want to read.
Um, Prepare to cry is all I'm saying. But
That's fine.
honestly, I do honestly see it some similarities between All the Bright Places and Releasing
Oh,
10.
oh, I can't.
Yeah. Read
Okay, I'm
it.
adding it to the TBR right now.
Yeah, no, I was, they're all amazing. Like, there's been no book that I'm like, oh, I couldn't finish that.
Well, that's good.
But I have to say, I think Flawless by Elsie Silver
Hmm.
really stuck with me. Kind of such two great characters. Kind of like,
You love a cowboy romance.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have to add that one too. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I have so many more to read.
I know.
How many books do you know roughly on your TBR?
Oh my, all of them. Like there's so many, and I know that this is just a problem readers have, but I say, oh God, obviously I have a lot of books behind me, and then we've got books throughout the house, and I just think, don't buy anymore until you read all of these because you have not read all of these. But then I see a cover or I hear about a book or I get recommendations like from you all, and I just think, oh God, I have to have that. And then, before I know it, I've got new books and I have to but then I see another one and then, it just goes on and on.
100%, yeah.
Mhm.
I,
So there are countless on my TBR right now.
I relate a little bit too much to that.
Yeah.
No, I have to be like, I'm not going to buy anything like from now on until I've saved up more money, and then the next day I've bought a new book.
It happens.
That happen?
I don't know how, but it just happens. And one unfortunate thing is that we have a bookstore literally across the street. We're in this little downtown, like historic downtown area, and there's a bookstore. I can like see it from where I'm sitting right now. And it's just so tempting because then you just think, oh, well, I'll just run in for a second. And
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Oh, on our bucket
Many
list,
dollars later.
we've kind of got a bucket list. We really want to go to like Target and Barnes and Nobles and just look at different covers of books.
Yeah.
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 Hmm. Do you buy? Oh, here's a question. I'm going to interview you now, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, so do you have books that you buy multiple copies of with different covers and versions? Is there a book or books that you do that with?
Yeah.
You do.
See, I have no self-restraint. Ella does.
I have a bit more. I do think about my money a
What is
bit.
that? Um, honestly, yeah. Do you know the Good Girls Guide to Murder series?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So I have the just the standard editions, and I have like the hardcover sprayed edge, like penguin kind of stuff.
Nice.
And I'm really trying to save my money at the minute, but I've seen. Do you know the King of Sin series by Anna Huang?
No.
So,
Oh, I love the
um,
title.
so they've released. So we have in the UK the Works, and
Hmm.
they got great alternative covers. The whole series is dropped in the alternative cover, and I'm going. I don't need it. Do I want it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that answers
There's,
the question.
I mean, there's need and want, and sometimes they're just kind of merge into
Yeah.
a hybrid where you just want it, but you also need it. So you have to get it.
Do you do the same thing?
Yes, definitely. I do that with a couple of books. I love Shirley Jackson. She's my favorite author. And so I have a few different copies of The Haunting of Hill House. I have a few different copies of Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
Just Mary Shelley was so cool. And then I've got also multiple copies of Alice in Wonderland because that was, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes,
Copy.
I love that version. I love that version. And I love that whole line
I
of,
know. I got literally. Yep. There we go.
oh my gosh, which ones do you have?
So I've got Little Women, Jekyll and Hyde, and Dracula.
Oh, I love all of those. Oh my gosh. Uh,
You get them.
yes, yes, I do. Oh my gosh. How do I not have them now? I don't know.
There you go. Best. I'm gonna put them down. That's heavy. Oh my god. Yeah. No. But buying is honestly very dangerous.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous
It is.
to do.
It is.
But
Hmm.
like, I need more books. I
Yeah.
have. How many shelves do I have? I have one, two, three shelves. So one there,
And
one
a
behind the
cart.
camera, one there, and a
Oh,
little cart.
oh, I love the cart. That's amazing. Yeah.
Cute. It's so cute.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I have a little book cart. I'm pointing to it, even though you can't see it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's very similar and it has all the books for ideas that I'm working on right now. So I've got like research books there. So those are like my, the ones I keep next to my desk that I can reach for.
So, what can you tell us about that?
Let's see, not much. I wish I could because I'm like so excited I'm working on two different ideas, and one is for an adult novel, and the other is for a young adult novel. And that's all I can say, which is sad because I want to say more, but I've loved it. But it's so funny because living with a writer, I don't think I tend to be a very sunny person, just kind of by nature. But when I'm done with a project and I just finished this big deadline yesterday, no, the day before, and then yesterday I was
They're like,
like, oh, I was just sad and tired. And, my husband was like, it's okay. And I was like, oh, I just want to lie here. And then today I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to start working on this idea now. So,
oh my god, well, now you can.
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
that's going to be incredible.
Yeah. So obviously you guys have Barnes and Nobles, which I would love over here in the UK. But is there
Yes.
any like bookstores that we have that you would kind of wish you had over there?
Oh, Waterstones. I love Waterstones. Love, love them. I wish that we had them over here. So we could trade. Actually, I would trade you several Barnes and Noble, which I also love, for some of your Waterstones, and we could just make a swap.
That sounds fair.
That works with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. And that way we keep some of both.
Yeah.
100%. You need to, when next time you come to London, go to the
Yeah.
Piccadilly Waterstones.
I love that one.
Have you been?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
I've been, and in fact, I'll be in the UK in November doing a tour for when we were monsters. So
why the hell did I not know?
I'll send the dates to you. So like I'm doing a tour with Cynthia Murphy and another author, and I think it'll be really fun. But I love going to the UK, and I've done a few tours there, and Waterstones Piccadilly is one of my absolute favorite stores, like anywhere.
We got
Okay.
stuck in there.
We had a serious like girl math problem where we were sitting next to the stuffed toys, counting through the amount of books that we had in our carts and going, I don't have the money.
But isn't it fun for that moment just to have them all in the cart? Like you
Oh,
could take them all home.
and I still spent about £60.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
That's good.
Wow, that's incredible. So, where are all the places you're going on your book tour then?
I don't know. I know we're going to, I think I have to look at the schedule, but I know obviously I'll be in London. I think like maybe Manchester, and I can't remember the other places. I know I'm going to Amsterdam just for an event at the end of everything, and then going back to London. Um, so I'm just like any reason to go to London, I just am like, yes. We were I was we were on a call with my literary agent. It was amazing. And my UK publisher for Meet the Newmans. And she and the publicity team were saying, like, we'd love to bring you over here and do a tour also, but we know that you're gonna, also do one for When We Were Monsters. But we'd like to bring you over, after Meet the Newmans is out. I don't know if you would want to come, to be doing both so close together. And before like the words were out of her mouth, I was like, yes, yes. And my agent is always like, okay, let's hear like what the tour would be first. Jennifer's always going to say yes to it. But yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. You need me to come? Yes.
Well, we will try to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be amazing to get to meet you in person. I would love it.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. So, stepping a little bit aside from that, do you go to anyone in particular for book and editing advice?
Oh, that's a great question. I do have my like kind of inner circle of writer friends, um, who- whom I just trust, and I love talking to them about writing. We commiserate about writing, and I know that I'm always like safe with them. I value their opinions. Um, so Jennifer Matu, who wrote Moxie, and Carrie Clutter, a book called The First Time She Drowned, and Adriana Mather, Jeff Sentner. Um, I'm trying to think like Ronnie Davis, like all the people that I just love and trust, Danielle Page. Um, there are just so many who I want to like read everything that they write and vice versa.
100%. Oh, wow. That's incredible.
It's so nice. And then we also have like a little group thread where we're just, we can go on there and rant and rave and be excited about each other's things, and, be like, oh, this industry is so hard, or, yay for you. I'm so excited for your news.
Oh, that's really sweet that everyone's so
Yeah.
supportive, though.
It's so lovely. And that I found that, as a whole, the young adult community of authors is just so supportive and loving and welcoming. And it's always fun to go to events and be like, okay, which one of my friends is there? Who's there that I can see that I haven't seen in so long?
Oh, I love that. I'm just like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's so insane. So what do you hope your readers will like take away from your books? What's like the key messages?
Oh my gosh. I hope that they take away the fact that they're not alone, that other people out there feel like they do, that they don't need to just keep pain or things that they're struggling with inside, that it is important to speak to other people to speak about whatever they're going through. I want them to take hope out of the stories that I write. I want, even if the story is dark, I want them to see something light in it. And I want them to, I think the big thing is just reminding them that they're not alone and that they're seen. And when I've had the opportunity to tour around the world and just meet thousands of wonderful readers, and the thing that I hear the most is thank you for letting me know that I'm not alone, and thank you for giving me a voice where I felt like I had none, and thank you for making me feel seen. And that's just everything.
Yeah, similarly. At the start of Breathless, you kind of mentioned like, why do girls care so much about like how they look and their bodies? And I feel like a lot of people are gonna need to hear that, and that's just really like, it's really amazing to like you write that in those books so people can be like, I'm okay with who I am, I'm happy with who I am.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I mean, it does, as I said, that means everything. And I don't know if you know, but Breathless is banned. So
Love.
yeah. It's always, you know, it's always surprising to me, I guess, that things that I feel and I know from talking to readers that they need people to talk about and they want people to talk about because they feel so isolated, in whatever it is they're going through. I just think, oh gosh, we need to talk more about that, not less. Because, when we say no, we shouldn't be talking about that, it makes them feel even more isolated.
I think that's a really important thing, especially in this day and age, for everybody to have that awareness.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Wow. What's one thing that you know now that you'd wish you know when you actually started writing?
Oh gosh. That is a great question as well. My mother was also a writer, and so it's almost like I learned things in reverse because I saw firsthand how stressful it could be and how demanding it could be, and I thought, ugh, I don't want to do that. I mean, I love writing more than anything, but that looks just awful. So Um, so I actually thought, oh, I'm going to be an archaeologist or a dancer or an actress. And I had all these other things I was, kind of toying with doing, but I couldn't not write. And I think the thing that I learned was actually all of that is worth it. And even though she had told me that when I was witnessing it, by her, um, I think the thing that I realized was that, yeah, that is true. It's all worth it, all of it. I mean, I was texting with um, Jennifer Matu yesterday, and we were both saying, like, why do we do this? Like, why do we do this? Why? And then, of course, we can't not do it. You just, we say that, but it's just a way of venting because we wouldn't do anything else.
Oh, that's so sweet, honestly. Um, Also, how did it finally feel to like see all your covers like being brought to life?
Oh my gosh. It's amazing. Okay, the first time I ever saw my book in a store was my first book, The Ice Master, which was like a whole other life. That was me writing a nonfiction account of an Arctic expedition
Wow.
in 1914. And it was just fascinating. And so I went to this bookstore in Los Angeles where I was living at the time. And I saw it on the shelf and I was like, oh my God. And I just wanted to like scoop it up, all the copies, and take them with me and like protect them and go home and not let anyone ever see them. But then this man, never forget it, this man walked up and picked the book up and he opened it while I was standing there and I was just looking at him. He opened it and he read the flap copy and he was like, "Hmm," and put it down and walked away. And I wanted to go, take that book, pick that book up and buy that book. And it's in that moment it completely changed. And I was like, you read that now. Um, but it's so surreal. It never goes away. You never don't get excited about seeing your book in a bookstore. You never stop having the feeling of wanting to like take the book, protect it, and not let anyone see it. Um, at the same time, you want everyone to read it. So it's with every single one, it's just the same feeling.
That's got to be a surreal
Yeah.
feeling.
On a bit of a different note, we don't have to name and shame here, but what was the worst date you have personally been on?
Oh God. Well, I don't know if we have enough time for this. Let me think. So many. I think probably the worst date I've ever been on was in high school. I won't name names, but there was this girl who hated me because I dated this guy that she liked. So she was scary. Like she grabbed a girl by the hair one time and threw her over the bleachers. And I was like, oh my God. And then she hated me because I liked or I dated this guy who I was no longer dating. So I went on a double date with a different boy. Let's call him Johnny. And Johnny was like, "Oh, hey, well, we're going on a double date." And I was like, "Great." He said, "Well, I'll pick you up at whatever time." So I walk out to the car and I get in, and who is on the double date with that girl in the front seat and then with whatever guy she was dating at the time? And I was like, this is so awful. And then it got worse because we went to the mall and we saw this movie about breakdancing. I can't remember the name. And it was so bad. And then we got back in the car and they were all saying like, "What do you think about the movie?" And I was like, it was okay." And she turned around and looked at me and she goes, "You don't talk." And I was just like, "Oh God, please let this end." So the whole night, and then she would either turn around and just glare at me or she would say something, snippy. And I was afraid for my life. And I was just did not like the guy that I was going out with. I was like, yeah, that's it. That's why I will never do that.
Wow,
Yeah, that was the worst.
that's quite
Mhm.
that's
Do
insane.
you have do you have worst date stories?
No.
No, we,
No.
we just read books.
That's good. Mhm.
But that's a quite funny experience because it's like things you read about in books, but no, you've lived
Yes, it's true. Mhm.
it. Oh wow,
Yep.
incredible. So I think that's pretty much all we have time for at
Yeah.
the minute. But thank you so much for talking to us.
Yeah.
We've got obviously your new book, When We Were Monsters, which I'm gonna bring here. Sorry. And obviously you've written All the Right Places. I'm just gonna grab all the books.
Yeah, and
All the Right
Breathless.
Places and
But
Breathless. We love. So thank you so much for talking.
I love seeing the covers.
Yeah.
They're gorgeous, aren't they? So,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Gosh, thank you both with all my heart. This is just amazing, and I'm so excited for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.